off of a hope and a dream, basically. I'm having the time of my life. Before we get into today's video, I would like to say a huge thank you to Book of the Month for sponsoring today's video. As we all know, I love Book of the Month, and this month is no different. If you don't already know what Book of the Month is a monthly book subscription service, and they have the best prices on new release hardcover fiction. This month's deal is so good. I'm actually so excited to show you guys. But before we get into that, if you don't already know how Book of the Month works, basically every single month there are new curated picks that are chosen by their editorial team after reading through hundreds of new and emerging books and authors. And they do also offer audiobooks in addition to their hardcovers, so every single month you can choose whether you want your book pick in the hardcover or the audiobook, which I think is awesome as both a physical and an audiobook loving girly to have all of the options available to you. And if there's ever a month where nothing is quite catching your eye, you can always skip any month free of charge. And this month when you join, you can get your first book for just $5 when you use the code FLORAL and a cute little mini tote. Like, this is so cute. The one that I chose is the one that says unreliable narrator because that's so funny. I will be using this anytime that I go book shopping. It's like the perfect little size and it's a really nice material. And for $5, you're telling me you can get a hardcover and this cute little tote? Say less. So make sure that you hop on that deal while they have it because that's an insane deal. For this month's book picks, I wanted to show you guys the two books that I picked because I'm so excited about both of them. First and foremost, I chose Dissection of a Murder by Jo Murray. The synopsis of this one says, when Layla Reynolds is handed her first murder case, she's shocked by the victim, a well-known, well-respected judge whose death sent shockwaves through the legal community. She's also incredulous. She's nowhere near experienced enough to handle such a high-profile assignment, but the defendant is insistent. He wants her, and only her, to represent him. Except he's refusing to talk, and if that wasn't complicated enough, Layla soon learns her opponent is the most ruthless prosecutor that she's ever known, her husband. That's kinda nuts. It's an impossible situation, and yet Layla is determined to sway the jury, until she's blindsided once again by a shadowy figure from her past. Suddenly, Layla finds herself fighting not only for her client and marriage, but also to keep her own secrets buried. And if she has to rewrite the rules to win, so be it. That sounds so good. Husband and wife court rivalry plus a little bit of a mystery. I'm hooked, okay? The second book that I picked this month is called Seek the Traitor's Son by Veronica Roth. This one also comes with a little sprayed edge moment. The synopsis of this one says, Elegie An did not ask for destiny to find her. She's happy with her life as a soldier defending her small country from the Talisar, a powerful nation that worships a deadly fever. A fever that blesses half of its victims with mysterious gifts. But then, Elegie is summoned to hear a prophecy. Her and the most ruthless of the Talisar generals, Rava Vidar, brought face to face. They learn one of them will lead their people to victory over the other, but they don't know which. And at the center of both of their fates, a man who Elegie is told she will fall in love with. In just one day, Elegie's old life, her job, her purpose, and her future is over. She and Rava are destined to collide, with the fate of their nations hanging in the balance. And when they do, only one will be left standing. Elegie intends to make sure it's her. That sounds so good. If you are interested in trying out Book of the Month as well, like I said, you can get your first book for just $5 when you use the code FLORAL, plus a cute little mini tote. They have multiple different options. They have a blue one. There's another black one that says nobody reads anymore, which I was going between those two for my pick, but unreliable narrator is just so funny to me and also like way too fitting for my life. So make sure to visit bookofthemonth.com or click the link in my description. Use code FLORAL to get your first book pick for just $5 and pick a cute little mini tote. And thank you again so much to Book of the Month for sponsoring today's video. Let's get into the bookshelf reorganization. You already know what time it is. We are so back. I am now medicated. I am now therapeuted. And hopefully I am now back and better than ever, living my mentally stable, beautiful life. Hi guys. Obviously today we are going to be doing a bookshelf reorganization. The last time I did one of those genuinely has to be like at least 9 months ago, may even been longer. I have no idea. It's been so long and I was doing really good for a while with like keeping up on taking the books down and dusting down the shelves and making sure all the books stayed clean and all of that stuff. Like if not every month, I would do it like pretty much every other month. It hasn't happened in a while, guys. Like, if you saw the layer of dust on these shelves right now, you would be appalled. But it's okay, because today we are doing something about it. So I am going to be taking every single book off of my bookshelves and then completely reorganizing it. I think I just need change. I love the way that my shelves are right now. Honestly, this is the happiest I've ever been with my bookshelves. There's obviously always like tweaks here and there of things that I want to change or whatever, but I just have a few shelves where I just love the way that it looks, specifically these like 3 shelves, and then I love my little classic shelf, and also my Serpent and the Wings of Night, and my little YA. Okay, see, there's a lot of shelves that I really do like how they look, but I just feel like because I'm in such a bad slump, it might be a good idea to kind of shuffle around my shelves, because good old ADHD object permanence does in fact hit hard. When the same book has been sitting in the same spot for maybe even a year, my brain does just decide that it doesn't exist. My brain does just decide to delete the memory of me ever purchasing said book. So I am hoping that by taking down all of the books, dusting off the shelves, re-zhuzhing everything up and making everything new and exciting, it might kind of re-up my excitement to try to like read some more, and like maybe it will push me out of my slump if I am like moving around the books and reading the synopses, and like maybe I'll remember a book that I just forgot that I owned and just decide that, hey, that sounds really good. Maybe that will get me out of my slump. Who knows? Those are all my hopes and dreams for what I would love to accomplish by doing this little bookshelf reorganization and clean out. Before I started this vlog, I did do pretty much my very first ever big book unhaul. Before this, like about a year ago, I did my very first unhaul, and it was like a little mini unhaul. I really don't think I got rid of that many books. I tend to be a hoarder when it comes to hobbies. Like any other area in life, it's not a problem. Like if I haven't used it in 6 months, it's gone. Okay. My hobbies, on the other hand, I'm like, just for a rainy day, I'll want to have this at some point in my lifetime, so therefore I will keep it. So this time around, I tried to be very ruthlessly honest, and I ended up unhauling well over 50 books. So if you want to see the unhaul, you can go over to my Patreon, because that is where it is. It's always linked in my description. So I did that before I started this video, and already just having my shelves like cleared out and reset, it already feels so much better, because I just had so many books sitting on my shelves from when I very first started getting into reading at like the end of 2023 that I just bought them based off of a hope and a dream, basically. I didn't really know anything about my reading taste or what I was looking for in a book or in an author's writing style. So as I have kind of progressed as a reader and like learned what is my reading taste, what do I love, what do I hate, like what am I looking for, I feel like there was just quite a few books that I would just look at them on my shelves, and instead of it bringing joy, it would bring anxiety. Because I would just think to myself, I obviously want to eventually read all of the books on my shelves. Like, I don't think there will be a time where like every book is read, but like every book that I buy it with the intention of reading it, obviously. And it would just like stress me out, kind of, the fact that eventually one day I would have to finally pick up said book or whatever. And then I'm like, is this how I want to live my life? No, people are allowed to change. People are allowed to grow. And so that's what I did. Anyway, very long-winded way to say we're ready to reorganize the bookshelves. The sun is currently setting as we speak, so if we lose all sense of good lighting, we're just gonna have a little slumber party tonight. We're gonna party all night long in whatever kind of fun mood light we can make. I don't know. Step 1 is already complete. Clear out the shelves. Did that. I'm feeling great. I'm very proud of myself for trying to be brutally honest with myself on if I thought I would like realistically read the book within the next like 6 months at least, or if I had already read the book and even if I liked it but like not enough to make me really want to reread it or really make it a book that I talk about all the time or recommend all the time, or a book that I really love so much that I would want to like loan it to my sister or like someone else, you know. Then I just thought to myself, okay, would I rather have this book sitting here then for really no purpose, because if the answer to all of those questions was no, that's what it is, or would I rather set her free so she could find a new loving home and then replace her with a book that either I have read and I loved but I don't own yet, or with a book that I feel meets my current reading taste and that I could pick up in the now version of me and really, really love. So I just went through it with that mindset. My main goal is I just want my bookshelves to bring me joy at the end of the day. It's my favorite hobby and I love books and I want to feel that whenever I look at my shelves. So step one, already done. Step two is going to be taking all the books down and wiping everything down. It's going to take so long. They're so dusty, but it's okay. I have gotten quite a few more little decorations for my shelves. I love collecting Nyotas from Pop Mart and Hironos from Pop Mart. They are my two favorite little characters. They're just so freaking cute, and for some reason I am genuinely emotionally attached to them. So I have acquired quite a few new family members that I will introduce you guys to. We also took a family trip recently and I got some little crystal marble cutie little things from a little rock shop. So I'll show you guys all of the new decor. For now, I honestly just need to stop yapping and start to take all the books off the shelves. I have really good news. I also have some really bad news, but I do have really good news. I am so thoroughly enjoying myself. I am having the best time. Even just cleaning off the shelves, I just feel so happy. I don't know. I feel so happy. I'm having the time of my life. I do also have bad news. Because I'm having the time of my life, it's been like 3.5 hours probably, because I was blasting music, getting everything taken off the shelves, wiping everything down, and then I looked at the bottom, like the very bottom shelf of my bookshelves, which if you have never seen my bookshelves before, I'll have to show you in a bit, or I can like insert a clip, but I completely reorganized all of Mark's books because he reads a lot of comic books, graphic novels, manga, like all that stuff. So I completely reorganized all of his books, and I haven't reorganized his books or even like taken them off to like wipe the shelves, I think, since I originally put up these shelves. So his shelves have been severely neglected, but I took care of them. I reorganized them. I like the way that they are now, way better than they were before. Honestly, I feel like they've kind of bothered me ever since I had organized them originally, but I just never took the time and the effort to do anything about it. So I am really glad that I decided to do that. I also just like am glad that I decided to, because now it's like genuinely every single shelf is wiped up. Like I didn't skip any shelves because I was being lazy. Also, kind of good news, really the bad news is it's 10 o'clock And so far, all I have done is make my room such a big mess. If you were to even see behind this stack of books, but you're not gonna. Game plan for the shelves, because I've had quite a few ideas, I feel like, while I was dancing around my room and wiping off the shelf. I kind of, and I don't know about this because it would take so much effort, and then if it doesn't work out, having to undo all of it, but part of me wants to have like this left half of my bookshelf, so like the two big shelves all the way closest to the wall. Part of me kind of wants to just have that section, or these two shelves, be books that I have already read, and then do the other big shelf and then the two little corner shelves as books that are still on my physical TBR. And my thought process behind that was like, those shelves are next to the TV. I'm facing that direction like 99% of the time, so I thought it might help keep my mind on like all the books that I own and I'm excited to get to, having them in the area that I'm going to be looking at the most. And I also feel like it'll either be really motivating to be able to like put the books that are part of a series that are separated, because I have read half the series and not the other half or something like that. I feel like it'll be really motivating because then once I finish a book, like I can bring it over to the red side or something. It's either going to be really motivating or extremely aggravating for me to see the series like split up, because I'm in the middle of so many series, like I don't even want to think about it. But that was my thought. But I think to do that, I would need to like go through every single book and separate the read versus unread so I could see if it's kind of a similar amount, because it will really bother me if one side is like way more full than the other. So I guess I'm gonna do that. And this is probably going to take me so long, but for you guys, why is my light dimming? Did anyone else see that? That was really weird. Should we start telling scary stories? I'm going to separate out my books, and I'm not going to let myself think into the fact that that just happened and try and figure out why. Pray for me. That took me so long. So I'm glad that I'm liking the vibe so far. I mean, it's hard to tell because it's just like the papers of the book, but that took me, I think it was like 45 minutes. And I'm so hot from lifting the things up and then setting them down and then turning around and lifting it up and then setting it down. But I do think it was all worth it, because as I was separating the books, I just felt like inspired. Like I thought that I would, to get to the books on my TBR, because they're a whole section. And I feel like for the way my brain works, like I'm hoping that this one obviously helps me to prioritize my TBR, or not even like just prioritize, but just remember it. I feel like a huge thing with my ADHD brain is like it's here in my room, and so a lot of times I just like, it's not on the forefront of my brain, which I know that it sounds like it should be opposite because it's in my room and like I see it all the time, but that's good old object permanence. So I'm really excited to get these set up. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by finding a spot on the shelves for all the large things, like my disco ball, my little Lego houses and stuff. Those will probably end up being moved unless I'm just a genius and I guess the right spot the first time. I do have some like ideas of where I want to put them, but like I don't know if they'll work in the spots that I was thinking with how the books work out, because this, like from here on, is all of my read books, and then from here around the curve is all of my unread books. So I don't know how this is going to go, because there are going to be series that are separated. So I might do it, I'll have like a, maybe like a YA section, I'll have maybe a romance section, fantasy section, mystery thriller section, I don't know. So basically just by genre. I don't know why I needed to list out all of the genres when I could have just said that. But yeah, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start, like I said, with the large things, and then I'm going to organize the TBR half first, because I feel like that's the harder part, because it'll feel a little bit more random, and I don't know, I guess it feels harder also because I haven't read these books yet. And then once that's done, the only thing that will be left to do is my red half of the shelves, which I feel like is fun to save for last because obviously that half is going to have like probably more books that I want to display that are like all-time favorites of mine or special editions of favorite books of mine and things like that. So I feel like that would be a really fun thing to kind of do last. And then after that, the last step will be to put on all of my cutie little teeny tiny decor things, which I'm so excited for. That's like one of my favorite little additions to the shelves that I've started doing in the past like few years. So anyway, I'm gonna find a place for the Legos and organize the TBR half of the shelf, and then I will check back in with you guys when we're ready to move on to my red half. I was weak. I fell asleep. Granted, it was like 3:30 in the morning by the time I fell asleep, but nevertheless, I have failed to finish my bookshelf in one night, which I'm so sad about. I literally woke up, I'd slept in my makeup from yesterday, and I woke up and I felt like I was in another dimension, and I was like, oh no, the bookshelves. I didn't really get that much done last night, honestly. You would expect for the amount of time that I was actively working on them that I would have, but I was just being such a perfectionist about it, I think because it's been so long since I've redone my shelves that I just want it to feel perfect. So basically, I feel like I like how these two corner shelves are so far. I basically just focused on starting those because those are the two that's like I can't really get good camera angles for those anyway, so I was like, let me just bust those out real quick. But I basically have like those 4 shelves here that's like all of my romance TBR, and then the 2 shelves below that are like all of my book of the month books that I need to read, and then random fantasy there. I don't know if that will stay there, but I just was kind of throwing it together. And then above that, which you can't see, let me see, this is like my unread mystery thrillers, and then this way, this is my random little fiction books that like are just fiction. I don't know why I need to explain that. Anyway, I'm so dead inside. My face feels so dry and crusty, and the bookshelves are still not done, so oh, the other thing that I did do is I added the Legos to the shelf. So I decided to put my little Twilight Lego cabin here, and then I just set those next to it to see if I liked the vibe, because I always like to put the Twilight books next to the Cullen house, obviously. So that may stay there. I don't know. I kind of just threw it up there and tried to see if I liked it. And then over here, I put the little Lego cabin, and I think it looks cute. It's always been, I guess I can move this now. It's always been in like the center of my shelves, like somewhere right here. So I just thought it might be fun to put it somewhere completely different. I also thought it would be really cute closer to my little side table light because it might give it a nice little warm glow, make it feel homey, I guess. I don't know. That's basically all I did though. I dusted off my Legos, put them up, put books on the shelves, stared at them for an ungodly amount of time, and then moved those same books that I just put on the shelves, and that's it. Then I passed out. So we are back today. It's not even morning time right now, by the way. Like, I have been sitting in bed and just staring at the shelves, and I think it's just my OCD kicking in a little bit. I just need to like keep going and like not lose momentum. I need to remind myself that once I have all the books on the shelves, I can move them around. It's not in fact illegal. So that's the update. It's the next day. I'm a loser who can't hang, apparently, and we're gonna finish it now, and my reward will be a bath and washing my face because I feel so dead inside. But you know, shout out to my setting spray though, because it's not looking too bad. My hair, on the other hand, we're just gonna ignore her. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, I have officially finished my TBR half of the bookshelves, and honestly, I love it so much. Basically, what I did was all fantasy. All right here. So these, nope, backwards. This one, this one, this one, and this one. They're all fantasy TBR, and then so are these two corner shelves. And then up here, right above this top fantasy shelf, I have my classics all together, which that I don't know if I'm going to be changing once I read it. Like, I kind of like all the classics being together, so I might just end up leaving that there. But I don't know. I feel like it made sense for it to be classics, fiction, mystery thriller, and then fantasy, romance, book of the month. So I'm really happy with how it is turning out so far. I genuinely love, one, having the TBR on the rounded part. First of all, it just feels like a bookstore. I don't know. It's making me happy. Second of all, I already love the view from laying in my spot in bed and seeing all of the books on my TBR. I feel like my plan is working. I've fallen right into my own trap, and it is working because it's making me filter through all the books that I get to read soon, and it's just making me really excited. And I do feel like moving the books around also has like brought them back to the forefront of my brain and like reminded me why I bought the books and was so excited to read them in the first place. So very, very happy, very good news with the TBR side of the bookshelf. And now we get to move on to the red side of the bookshelf, because I have quite a few editions of books that I have loved that I'm really excited to see if I can figure out a different way to display them than how they've already been displayed. And that means we're super close to getting to put all the decorations on, which I have been looking forward to since I took them off. My little Nyota collection is just like staring at me, and they look so cute all together. I can't even describe the amount of serotonin that those Nyotas and Hironos bring to me. It's off the charts. So I'm going to try and get everything on the shelves, and then I will go over how I have everything once I get everything up there. Hopefully this is easier than the TBR shelf. I feel like it would be, because the TBR shelf feels a little bit more random in a way, whereas like the books that I've read already, I feel like I can group them easier because I have read them, and so I can go off of like vibes and stuff too. But who knows? Let me not say this will be easy too soon and then jinx myself. So let's get started. Okay, here is the finished two shelves. Basically, I have so much fantasy. Like this shelf and this shelf, that's my romance. So I don't own a lot of the romances that I have read, I will say, because I read a lot on Kindle Unlimited. That and then like my mystery thrillers up top, prefer to listen to mystery thrillers. So like I don't own a lot of them. So I think it's so funny because it like just looks like I don't like that genre at all. But I am so happy with how the shelves came out. So basically, romance. This shelf down here is marquee stuff, and then I have a little basket with like some of my journaling supplies and like a crossword search and like my grandma activities that I want close to me at night. And then over here, this shelf is a little bit random because I have Dungeon Crawler Carl and then Heartstopper. That's just where they go. I don't know. And then right next to that, I have this little section of like nostalgic books, because those are the 2 series that I actually read in high school before I realized that there are other books that also exist and I might like reading them. I just reread those 2 over and over again and had the best time. So we have obviously The Hunger Games. I'm still missing The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Yeah. And the reason that the dust jackets are off all of those is because my younger sister actually saved the original trilogy that we read when we were younger, and she had gotten rid of the dust jackets forever ago. So I decided to just keep the dust jackets off of all of them because it feels nostalgic. And then I think maybe one day if I find someone on Etsy who makes alternate dust jackets, like maybe I'll switch to those, but for now that's them. And then obviously we have the Twilight series right under the house. I moved it underneath instead of there because I don't know, the colors of the spines just weren't going with what I had going over here, so I moved it down, and I still think that's fine. I need to figure out where to put the truck though, because right now it's just on top of the house. I might honestly just put it back behind the Lego house for now. Yeah, so fantasy, all of these shelves, it's all fantasy, except for obviously the mystery thrillers, but I am so happy with how it has come out. I feel so rejuvenated and like re-inspired to go and pick up all these books. I'm really hoping that this is a huge step towards me getting out of my reading slump, because this is quite literally the worst slump I've ever experienced in my entire life. Like, I have only read 1 book this year, which is so not like me. So the last step that we have is to put on all the cutie little decorations, which I'm so excited for. This is like one of my favorite parts because it's all just so cutie. So I'm going to really quickly put up all of my little decor things, and then the bookshelf will be complete. I have officially finished reorganizing, cleaning, decorating all of the bookshelves 2 days later. I'm so happy with how this came out, and I'm so glad that I finally made myself do this, because I think I might try and pick up a book tonight. I don't know, I'm feeling kind of crazy. No, but in all seriousness, it feels so good to have my shelves cleaned out. It's kind of similar to like my room in general. Like, resetting the shelves makes me kind of feel like I'm resetting my brain and like clearing that out in a way. Also, I am so surprised like how full the shelves still look, given the fact that I just unhauled like 50 to 60 books. That's actually crazy. Like, I'm looking at them and I'm like, where even would those books go right now? I don't know. But I'm very excited and happy with my physical TBR. I think I am going to start doing a little series where I like prioritize picking books from my TBR. I think I'm just going to call it like Shop My Shelves or something like that, because then it will satiate my constant need to shop for books. It just brings so much serotonin, but we have books at home. So in this economy, we will be shopping my shelves. So I'm not going to do a book tour in this video just because with the money that I got from my unhauls, I am going to be doing some book shopping and doing like a little book haul with that for just a few new books to add to my TBR. I don't really want to add too much because we just did declutter and I'm trying to be very selective. So I think I'm mainly going to get like my entire Red Rising series right now on the shelves. It's literally just the dust jackets. I don't have the hardcovers yet. So like I'm going to get all the hardcovers for that. So that won't necessarily add anything because I already have the dust jackets up there. Nothing too crazy, but if you want to see me go book shopping and see my little book haul or my book unhaul, like I said, that's over on my Patreon. But with that being said, I think that brings us to the end of today's video. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you feel inspired to reorganize and declutter and clean your shelves and go through your physical TBR and remind yourself what's on there because you may be surprised like me. So I hope you enjoyed watching. If you have not already subscribed, make sure to subscribe before you go so you don't miss future content from me. I love you guys so much and I will see you in the next video. Bye!